Hey, and welcome to Leadershipisation, all things leadership. I'm Beth Bergen. I'm a global leadership and communication coach, and I am here most Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Confidence. Seems like we either have it or we don't have it. Seems like we've got it in bucket loads or we're pretending that we've got it in bucket loads. It's often talked about a whole lot. A key component of confidence is your own self-belief and your own self-confidence. So today what I want to talk to you about is, how do I get it? How do I get to be truly self-confident? And actually, what is it? So one of the most common things I notice about people who have a lot of self-confidence, there's 4 or 5 of them here. And the first one that I notice is that they never actually need, they don't feel this really strong need to impress anyone. They don't seem as though they need to be out there impressing everyone all the time and kind of scoring points. The other thing, or one of the other things I notice, is that people with high levels of self-confidence truly understand their own worth, and they're really comfortable with who they are and how that kind of joins in with that worth. Yeah? So they know, and they're comfortable with who they are, and they know what their value is. And the third thing that I notice about people with high levels of self-confidence is that they're not particularly arrogant, and they don't have a lot of arrogance, and they care about other people. It's not like they've got so much self-confidence that they're the only person that matters. Yeah. So I guess that the next natural step is, what behaviours contribute to this? And today what I want to share with you are the 6 or 7 behaviours that actually contribute to your self-confidence. So the first one is this. It's about being comfortable with yourself. It's about actually liking who you are, genuinely liking who you are, warts and all. Now, what do I mean by warts and all? Like, we're not necessarily going to be perfect. There might be some rough edges. There might be some areas that you're working on right now. You might not like the shape of your chin or what your nose looks like. However, you can see past that, and you generally like yourself, no matter what shape your ears are, for example. This is about, liking your body, liking your personality. And it's this genuine comfortableness with yourself that allows people to really be authentic when they've got good self-confidence. There's no need to change or to fit into a particular mold, because you like who you are and you're comfortable with who you are. So you don't easily give in to that pressure from others to fit in or to meet other people's expectations. And when you've got great self-confidence, it's really easy for you to totally be who you are. I often say to people, some days I'm magnificent and other days I'm perfect. And what I mean by that, no, that's not what I say. I say some days I'm magnificent and some days I'm ordinary. And what I mean by that is that I care about who I am. I like myself regardless of whether I'm up here or whether I'm maybe down a little bit. And I'm not hard on myself, because I know that I'm going to lift back up again shortly. So think about that for yourself. Some days I'm magnificent and other days I'm ordinary. The second behaviour that will help you to lift up your self-confidence is this one. You need to be prepared to set and to maintain your own set of standards. These standards, like establish them and then maintain your own set of standards, because you don't need to have standards that are necessarily based on the opinion of others or on what's trendy right now or what society is expecting or what the rules are. You're going to set those standards based on what's important to you. And this is around your own curiosity about yourself, your own benchmarks, your own achievements. And what you're doing here is focusing not on the standards that others might maintain or set, but your own actions, your own beliefs. No pressure from others, no judgments, no opinions. What you're doing here is keeping your promises to yourself. You're setting standards that you're comfortable with. And those standards are all about the things that you need to do and that are important to you when it comes to your own self-confidence, your own self-worth, and your own success. What is successful for you may not necessarily be successful for a whole bunch of other people. Your standard may be different from theirs. So stick with what's true for you, yeah? And importantly, keep those promises that you're making to yourself, because you're the most important person to be maintaining that standard to. The third thing here is learning from your mistakes. In order for you to be building on your self-confidence, you must understand that every single mistake that you make is likely not a new one. Probably someone else has already made something similar. We all make mistakes. It's not unique to you, and it certainly isn't unique to me. None of us enjoy making mistakes, yeah? No one. It's not something that any of us enjoy. It can be really uncomfortable. It can be quite difficult. And sometimes it can be really tough going. When you're self-confident, you see this, every single error, every single mistake becomes an opportunity to learn. It becomes an opportunity to grow. It's not a reflection of your worth. It's part of that pathway to success. Because if what you're able to do is to see every single mistake as an opportunity to learn, you're able to embrace it. And because you embrace it, you're going to continue to move forward really consistently, taking risks and trying new things. What happened back here with that mistake, whether it be a relationship or a task at work or opening a new business or moving to a different place, whatever that mistake may have been, little ones or great big ones, you're in a different set of circumstances now. You're in a different place. So embrace those learnings, see them as information that you can take forward to take new risks and to try new things. Don't let that mistake define you. Don't let it put you off what you really want to achieve in your relationships, in your family, with your friends group, and in your work and in your business. Number 4. This is a biggie. This is a real biggie for lots of people. Many of us think that when we're really self-confident, we're doing it all ourselves. Being willing to ask for help is a great sign that you're shifting to a more self-confident space. Because when you're self-confident, you're much more likely to acknowledge really early that you need some support to get something done, and you ask for it. And this is all about overcoming your pride. This is all about overcoming your fear of being seen as weak or uncertain. This is, when you're self-confident, I don't have all of the answers. You know that what you're doing is asking for help, and that's actually a strength. It's a strength to recognize when someone else's expertise or someone else's input is going to be helpful. When someone else's expertise or input is exactly what's needed to make your dream come to fruition. So the greater your self-confidence is, the easier it is for you to boot that pride to one side and actually invite other people in to help you. Number 5, focus on your core values. Know what you stand for. Stand for something. Know what you stand for and stick with those values, because those values are going to guide your decisions and your actions. And what this means is that when you make a decision, it might be unpopular. It might be a hassle for you. However, you're staying true to those values, to your core values. Because when our values are met, when we make a decision and that decision resonates with our values, it's really okay if people don't like that decision. It feels a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah, I'll give you that. However, it sits better with you because you're being authentically you, because you're being self-confident. It's not about society's expectations or trends or whatever. It's actually about you. And an example of that would be this. You handshake. You shake my hand. We have a conversation. That's my word. That's my promise. That's my bond. I don't need a bit of paper. I don't need a contract. I'm comfortable with that being my word. However, I understand that others might need something different because of their past experience. So I'm not going to insist that we don't have a contract. I stick firm knowing my word is my bond. I promise you something, then I'm going to get it done. All the time, um, all the time, others are going to measure you on, or measure your worth on, whether you are sticking to those core values. More importantly, you're going to be measuring yourself on whether you're sticking to those core values. So that's why it's so important that you identify what they are, and every decision is impacted. Every decision actually reflects those core values. It takes courage to stick to those core values. And that courage is one of the aspects of self-confidence that you're growing by focusing on your core values. You see how a lot of these things feed into each other. It's your ability to be who you are, to like who you are, to stand for things that you believe in, and to focus on those core values. Number 6, self-assurance. It's really important to build your self-confidence, that you have that self-assurance, that you believe in you, that you trust your abilities, that you trust your ideas, that you trust your potential, that you trust your gut, that you're resilient and you know how to overcome those challenges, that you can pick yourself up and keep on going when things get a little bit tough. And this is really deep rooted in you, this sense of self-belief. Now, it can still be shaken up. It can still be given a kick in the butt. However, you're resilient. So some of this is about building that resilience. It's not about arrogance, because arrogance often masks insecurity. It often masks insecurity or fear that self-doubt brings with it. It's this deep-seated belief. You don't need to tell the whole world about it. You don't need to tell them about all of your achievements. You just do them. You don't need to go out there and seek validation from other people all the time. It's not the number of clicks or likes on a post that you put up. There's no need to prove anything, because deep down, you have your own back. You trust your ideas. You trust your instincts. You know that you're worthy. You know that you're good at something. You just are really proudly you. And there it is, that confidence. There it is, that self-confidence. When that self-assuredness is that deep-seated belief. Now, this doesn't mean that you know everything. This doesn't mean that you don't learn and grow. When your self-awareness is high, your self-confidence is likely to be high as well, because you're aware of what it is that you need to be changing. You're aware of what you need to be working on. You're aware that you're growing and learning all the time. Have a think for a moment about how your self-confidence stacks up right now. And ask yourself some of these questions. Do you like yourself? Give yourself a score out of 10 for that. Are you building daily habits that actually serve you? Can you remember the lessons that you took from your most recent mistake? Or did you just flick past those? Can you think what those lessons might have been? The reason it's important to identify them, reflect on them, and use them moving forward is because they serve you. When did you ask for help? When did you last ask for help from someone? A willingness to ask for help is wrapped around your self-confidence. Have you identified what your core values are? Do you know what your core values are? Because you can't be making a decision that focuses into your core values. You can't be authentically you if you don't understand what those core values are. And finally, is your confidence grounded in self-belief, or are you faking it? Is it grounded in self-belief, or are you faking it? If you're not scoring higher than 6 or 7 for those questions, then what we need to do is have you start building that confidence. Now, the next question obviously is, well, how do I start doing this? You start with that self-awareness. We've talked about that self-awareness before. You start with that self-awareness and it leads to self-leadership. If you need to have access to information about how to build your self-awareness, pop something in the chat and one of my team will reach out and give you the link to leadershipizations that I've done in the past about that self-awareness. Happy to do that for you. So that's your first step. Start with that self-awareness, because that leads to that self-leadership. Build on your communication skills. A confident person is going to need to be able to communicate with clarity. And that self-confidence comes from understanding that what you've said has been understood, but more importantly, that it's been heard, that you're valued for the opinion that you're giving. The next thing is to start to notice Start to notice your own behaviours and your own thoughts. How are you behaving in some situations? Are there times when you are more confident, more comfortable? And what are those times? Who are the people that you're with when you feel more comfortable, more confident? And what are the thoughts that are going through your head at that time? Because it's these kind of behaviors, it's these thoughts that you need to take with you into other situations where maybe you're not feeling so comfortable. Yeah. Next one is manage that self-talk. Catch yourself when you're putting yourself down. Catch yourself when you're undermining your ability. Catch yourself when you're giving yourself a hard time, and stop that. Stop that. Reframe your words so that they're much more positive. And then finally, it's always a great idea to think about connecting with a coach, someone who can work specifically with you on these kinds of things. This is exactly what we cover in my Leadership and Communication Foundation course. It's all about building your leadership intelligence. And I have another one of these starting up soon. I'm taking applications right now. If you want to know more about it, reach out and I'll send you a link so that we can have a chat and I'll answer any questions that you might have about it. Thank you. Self-confidence is at the core of you being the best version of you and achieving the kind of success that you want in all areas of your life, in developing those leadership intelligence tools that are going to make the difference for you, again, in all areas of your life. So thanks for today. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them on the platform that you're watching this on. If you're watching a replay, #replay would be awesome. If there is something I can do to help you to develop and build daily habits that are going to serve you, to identify what your core values are, to help you to take the most from any of your mistakes or failures, to develop your leadership intelligence, please reach out. Very happy to help you. In the meantime, enjoy your week. See you next week. Bye now.